Hi everyone, the Penguin Chef here. Today I'm going to show you how to make a taco lasagna. I found this recipe probably 20 years ago in a magazine. I can't even remember which one, and I gotta tell you, it's evolved over the last 20 years. First things first, let's take a look at our ingredients. Now might be a good time to pause the video so you can copy down these ingredients, or take a screenshot on your phone or mobile device to help you with your shopping list. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna start by chopping up some onions and some bell pepper. I chose an orange pepper just for color. One of the great things about this recipe is not only is it easy, but it also is versatile. You can use almost any protein you want. I've done it with ground beef, I've done it with steak, I've done it with chicken, I've done it with shrimp. You could do it with tofu. Today, we're gonna be doing it with ground turkey. I'm chopping these by hand, but if you are so inclined or simply don't have the time to do all this hand chopping, feel free to use your food processor. Now we've got all that chopped up, I think we're ready to go to the stove. So over medium-high heat, we're just gonna put a little olive oil into our pot. And then diving right in, we're gonna add our onions and our peppers. I'm going to throw in about a tablespoon of minced garlic. And once you've got that nice and sauteed and the onions are just starting to turn golden, we're going to throw in about 1.5 pounds of ground turkey. When I was growing up, there were a lot of recipes that my mother and my grandmother had, and they all said, stir constantly, and I didn't really understand why until I was older, because if you want to get that nice fine texture in ground turkey or ground beef, that's why you're stirring constantly. Now before you get too far into it, before the turkey's actually done cooking, you can add your spices. Now you can use any taco seasoning you'll find at the store. I just happen to like making my own, and I will include the recipe for my spice mixture in the description. If you're buying the spice mixture in packets, each packet's about 2 ounces. This was about 4 ounces. I tend to add more spices when I'm dealing with ground turkey because it's a little more bland than, say, beef or pork. The turkey's got that nice crumbly aspect to it. So the next thing we're going to be adding is about 2/3 of a cup of broth. The ground turkey, you can of course use chicken broth or any poultry broth. You can also use vegetable broth. It's whatever you prefer. And then, once that's all mixed up in there, we're gonna add a whole can, juice and all, of the stewed diced tomatoes. I have done this with fresh. I just didn't have a good crop this year in my garden. Now that's gonna wanna simmer for a bit, so turn the heat down and let it go for about 15 minutes, stirring it every once in a while. After about 10 minutes, we're gonna add our corn niblets. 1 can of corn niblets drained. That's one of the great things about this recipe. You can use corn. I've done it with zucchini. I've done it with carrots. It's got the vegetables, it's got the protein, and it's got flavor. So we've finished simmering our sauce and it's ready to go. Now we're ready to actually build our lasagna. First thing I'm gonna do, give it a little spray with some canola oil. Next is a little trick I learned from my grandmother. Take a little basting brush and you're going to dip it in your sauce and just get a little bit of the liquid on the bristles and then just lightly brush the pan. Now we're going to start our layers. First set of layers, flour tortillas. This is our 1 can of refried beans. I always put it in the microwave for just a little bit first. It makes it easier to spread. We're gonna put in our first layer about half of the can. Doesn't have to be exact because all this is gonna get melty and gooey and delicious when it's in the oven. After we got the beans in comes our meat and sauce. So about half of it is gonna go and cover the beans. This old-timey ladle makes it really easy to pour and spread. This belonged to my mother. Probably older than I am. All right, after that, we've got our shredded cheese. Now I shredded my cheese myself. I know a lot of people like to save time by buying the pre-shredded cheese. Here's the problem with that. Pre-shredded cheeses have anti-caking agents in them that change the melting qualities of the cheese. So you could do it if you want. I prefer fresh grated. And of course, if you don't have time to grate up a bunch of cheese, use your food processor. This is about 3 cups of cheese. I'm using about 1/3 of it here. All right, so now we've got one whole set of layers done. Now we do another one. We're going to put down another 2 flour tortillas. Next, once again, we have the beans. That's all the beans. Next comes the rest of the meat and the sauce. And we're going to put on about another cup of cheese, but we're not going to use it all. We're going to save some to do over the top at the end. And finally, we're going to cover this whole thing with 2 more tortillas. And then the last of the cheese. So before baking, we're going to cover this whole thing with a sheet of aluminum foil. Before we do that, I like to give it a little spray just to keep the cheese from sticking. Now that it's all put together, this could actually go in the refrigerator if you're making it the day before. If you do that though, make sure you take it out of the fridge for about an hour before baking it in a 350-degree oven for 35 to 45 minutes. Here it is, our taco lasagna. Look at that. And of course, we like to serve it with a little bit of guacamole and sour cream. Hey, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and maybe you'll give this recipe a try. Until next time.